I wanted to come on and do this more unusual video about the planet Uranus moving back into the sign of Taurus, which I have felt on a personal level, and I have a feeling that this video might be useful for many of you as well. Uranus is the planet of change. It's the planet that liberates, the planet that likes to awaken us in some way. And it's moving back into the sign of Taurus, where actually it has already been for quite a long period of time, since around 2018. But it had a brief period that it went into Gemini earlier this year. But since November the 7th, it moved back into Taurus. And Taurus is a sign that doesn't like to be woken up. It's the sign of stability. It's the sign of steadiness that resists change. It's a sign that's very practical. And so with Uranus being there for the last 7 years or so, we've probably got used to some kind of disruption in our life, and we've integrated it. But now as Uranus moves back into the sign of Taurus, we might be being woken up to something that we've missed. And that's really what I want to speak about today. And maybe you felt that energy shift from the 7th of July until the 7th of November. Uranus has been in the sign of Gemini, and Gemini likes change. It likes variety. It likes electrical energy, which Uranus is very much associated with. And so you might have had a period of feeling much more insightful. You might have felt like you were having more downloads. You might have felt like you were getting more messages in your dreams. You may have even felt more connected to spirit, to your ancestors, to your guardian angels. Maybe you felt like you're hearing those messages because the energy of Uranus and Gemini connects quite well. There's more of a fluidity with the two energies together. And as Uranus has moved back into Taurus, you might have noticed that suddenly dampened down. Maybe your intuition isn't so sharp. Maybe you've noticed that your meditations aren't so deep, or that you're not hearing those messages when you're working with your clients so clearly. And that's okay. These are all seasons that we work through, and if you're learning about astrology, then you'll know very much about how we have different seasons, just as we have the seasons in the calendar, where we are being asked to work with different energies and notice different things. And this season of Uranus in Taurus is going to finish very soon, and we won't ever have another opportunity for this energy because the planet Uranus has a cycle of 84 years, more or less. And so that means it will be another 84 years before we have Uranus in Taurus again. And so even though it does feel a little bit disruptive, it's a unique opportunity in humanity for these shifts that we're seeing. How will we embrace and integrate these tests to our stability? And you might notice this with your clients. Maybe they are very fixed in their ideas. They are very fixed in their routines, maybe their diets, maybe their habits. And Uranus moving back into Taurus is a great opportunity to just give them that little push to maybe change things, to break those habits, to try something completely new. This is a great energy for that. The thing is with Uranus is that the energy is difficult to ignore. And it's not so that we feel guilty or we feel like the world is against us. This is about an evolutionary thing. Like, what are we not noticing, or what have we missed or just overlooked or just ignored that Uranus is now saying, no, you've ignored this for too long. If you know where the sign of Taurus is in your birth chart, then have a look at that house and what that house is associated with. That might give you an idea about what's being shaken up a little bit, about where you need to maybe have a look at old patterns, or what you've been taking too long to make changes in. Because Taurus is a sign that's slower, it's more methodical, it likes to take its time when making decisions. And all of that's useful, but Uranus comes along and says, no, we need to do this now. You might be being asked to think outside of the box. It could be something to do with the body. It can be to do with self-worth. What do you value? It can be to do with our diet. Sometimes Taurus is overindulgent. It can also be to do with our possessions, our finances. What are we investing in? What are we investing our money in? Taurus is an earth sign. So perhaps if you've got so into your spiritual practices that you're feeling supported by the universe, but you have forgotten the connection with your body and how important it is for us to be grounded and for us to honor our body, then Uranus moving back into the sign of Taurus might be that wake-up call. saying to us, hey, you know, there's not always a spiritual reason to everything. Sometimes there's a physical thing that we need to look at as well. Do you feel called to connect with plant energy, flower remedies, get out in the garden more? Did you try and grow your own vegetables and it didn't work out and you just kind of forgot about it? Maybe this is the time to go, let's try that again. Let's really learn about what I need to do and let's listen to that calling, because it's going to reconnect you with the earth, with the ground, with the physical. If you've been enjoying my videos, then I hope you'll subscribe, and please hit like because it helps other people to see the videos as well. Leave your comments and tell me if you're feeling this Uranus energy back in Taurus. I know that I have been feeling it. My back went out. And it was so unexpected. I really tried to keep my body fit. I really tried to keep healthy, and it was unexpected and it was painful. But the lesson was exactly why I decided to make this video, because I realized that this was a calling to reconnect to my body, to move a little bit slower actually, rather than moving a bit faster. It was Uranus waking me up to Taurus energy, to take my time a little bit more, to honor this body that I've been given and listen when it needs to be nourished. And also, many of my friends have told me, think about the emotional causes that are connected with back pain, because I understand that there are often emotional causes to physical problems as well. And so for me, it was really after getting through that pain, going to a chiropractor, dealing with the physical, that I was able to reflect, that it encouraged me to change some of my habits. I've started to do a walking meditation, which I'd never done before. I always just thought they won't be as powerful as a seated meditation where I can go much deeper. And actually, I'm really enjoying them. And of course, there are lots of other things going on in the sky at the same time. But when the slower planets change signs, then we can feel that effect in a more potent way. Because this is about an evolution, not just a personal evolution, but a collective evolution. What are we being woken up to on a personal level that will help the collective expansion? And so encourage your clients to make changes, to try things that they'd never tried before. One of my astrology buddies has just discovered waterproof headphones. And so she's going swimming, listening to classical music, and she's loving it. Sometimes we get so stuck in our routines and things that we feel like this is working, this is keeping me stable, this is keeping me aligned and grounded, that we don't realize that there's other ways of doing things that can propel us in new ways. So Uranus, the great awakener, what are you being woken up to? What is being brought into conscious awareness for you to see in a completely new way? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching.